Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well and hope you can join me. My name is Deepal Shah and hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. It's just a beautiful day here in North Carolina. And I hope that everyone had an amazing Mother's Day weekend. I sure did. And it's a special time. It's a special time of the year, right? Where you feel cared for, you feel loved, you feel worth it, you feel cared for. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So I hope you can join me. Please do say hello if you're here. And, I'd love to hear from you guys because we're going to talk about something really, really important today. And that is your worth, your self-worth. So do say hello and share this out with everyone out there so they could join us too. So I'm going to go ahead and share really quick and then we'll get started today. So let me go ahead and just share this and say hello. I want to know who's here, where you're from, and then we can talk. Let's see. All right. All right, so as usual, I love to get some incense started to clear our space as we join here today. So I hope you're able to join me. Do say hello. I don't see anything in the comments yet. So, Nita. Hi, Nita. Thank you. I just want to make sure that I am live and it is working. So thank you for helping me out. From Ireland. Awesome. Hey, Catherine. So, all right, cool. So let's see. Let's get our incense going today. Today it's cedar wood. And it smells yummy. So let's go ahead and light this beautiful incense today. As I always like to light some incense before we start. It's a great way of clearing space, giving you a nice, clear mind. Smell really works with our senses. And if you can use incense or, any kind of sage or anything in your area, especially if you're working or doing something creative, right? And healing, definitely. So, light some incense because smell is a very, very powerful sense. Okay. So let's go ahead and invite our guide team here today to be with us here on this beautiful, wonderful Tuesday and inviting you, all of you together here in our community, our group, and our tribe. And whatever message that needs to come through today will come through for you. Okay? Whatever healing that needs to come through today will come through for you. So let's go ahead and start. Because if you're joining me today, please do share this out. I want as many people here as possible. And so let's start with a question that I have for you guys because I'm really curious. Is how many of you always feel like you have to prove yourself? Okay, how many of you feel like you always have to try to prove yourself to everyone else? Proving yourself, that's what we're going to talk about because I find that to be such an important topic. And I watch my kids and I watch how they're always trying to prove themselves. Okay? And it's like this comparison going on in the world where we're always trying to prove ourselves. And it almost becomes like this sense of survival, almost like an addiction. right? So proving yourself, this is the biggest sickness in the world right now, from children to adults. In order to survive, we think that we need to be better than everyone around us, or be these exceptional beings. But why do we feel that way? Right? It is our environment. Right? Think of the things going on around you that make you feel this way. Now, it's not only a sickness, but if you look at yourself, how sick is your body? What is your body showing? What kinds of things are showing up in your body that have manifested just from trying to prove yourself, your self-worth? So I want you to take a look at yourself and tell me what's going on. What's going on within your body that is a dis-ease or a discomfort or a pain that you just can't get past, and you don't know why you're so stuck. Because, you could work on proving yourself for a very, very long time. For years and years, you could spend a whole lifetime. So I want to help you get out of this. And this can happen by restructuring your mind and healing those underlying layers of emotions that are stuck. So I don't know how many of you out there are trying to prove yourself, whether it be in your personal environment, in your personal life, in your career. But where is it that you feel that you're always trying to prove yourself? And so as you're trying to prove yourself, it's like you continually seek things out. You're always trying to achieve more and more and bring more to your plate, more than you can handle, right? So before I go any further, let me go ahead and introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. My name is Deepal Shah, and I am a medical intuitive, and I help you overcome chronic and acute health issues. I have worked with thousands of people all around the globe, helping those who have aches and pains to those who have cancer. And I am so happy to be here with all of you today and be on this journey with you, where I can share my insight with you so that you can have a better and fulfilling life. So hello, Charanjit. Good to see you here. So share this post out with as many people as you know. And so proving yourself to others, right? For some, it's a hobby. For some, it's an addiction. For some, it's an implant. It's this recording that just keeps going off again and again and again. It has become a dis-ease within the mind and the body. Now, I'll tell you, I grew up Indian background, right? And I remember my mom and dad really emphasizing the importance of good education. Okay, it was to a point where I wasn't allowed to do any extracurricular activities. I wanted to learn how to play the piano. I wanted to learn how to do, dance. I wanted to do all these other things. And I think it was the fact that they didn't have time for me, but they also had a belief of their own where if you want to be something in life, you have to study, and that's all you have to do, because that's what they did in India. They didn't really have any extracurricular activities. I mean, nowadays I'm taking my kids to taekwondo, I'm taking my kids to singing classes. I mean, I feel like an Uber mommy. right? So, and some of you guys know what I'm talking about. We're constantly with the kids, right? And spending all this time with them. Well, my parents didn't do that, and they didn't believe that kids should have an extracurricular activity at that time, and this was in 1980s. So, I grew up in this environment where studying was very important. It was very much so emphasized. And every Indian parent wants their child to become a doctor. Okay? So that's the end goal. And I understand why they want every child to become a doctor. It's because in India, those are the only people that ever made money, I guess. That's the only thing I could come up with. They were the only ones that had nice homes, they had nice cars, they had, nice things, right? So, of course, my grandmother would always tell my kids when my grandmother would see my kids, oh, become a doctor, And so I'm like, Grandma, there's so many other things the kids could become nowadays, So let's not limit them, But now if you don't become a doctor, of course, you're nothing, right? So, we go on trying to prove ourselves as much as we can so that we can become something in someone else's eyes, and so that we do matter, right? It's so important for us to feel that we matter and our opinion matters. So I grew up not becoming a doctor. I'm here with all of you. And I love it. I love it. But rather, back then in college, since I didn't want to become a doctor, I tried to get into pharmacy school. That didn't work out either. Of course, that was the next best thing, right? That didn't work out either. So I found my passion, something that I was good at, and it was science and business. And I went off, got my biochem degree and my MBA, and got a career in pharmaceutical sales. I was so happy. I went up the ladder as fast as I could. I became a trainer. I almost became a manager till I left the pharmaceutical industry. I was one of the top reps, and I proved to myself that I can do it and I can make 6 figures. But did I prove to my family or my parents that I did it? And am I worth it? And did I prove myself that I didn't have to be a doctor? I don't know. I really don't know that answer. And maybe some of you do know the answer. That everything that you've accomplished up to this point, have you proved it to those that matter to you that you have reached a goal in your life, or you are well accomplished? And does it really matter? Or how much does it matter? So over some time, I kind of just, left my pharmaceutical job and stayed at home. And boy, did I dive into self-worth. And did I get triggered with self-worth? I had gone for a massage, and I have to tell you this the story, guys, because it was really, really a huge trigger. And I'm sure you guys have been through major triggers in your life where you have been doubted of who you are. And, I know we allow our careers to define us sometimes, at least, some of us do. I don't anymore, but I know a lot of people who do. And it's unfortunate because, of course, when you meet somebody, the first thing they ask you is, oh, what do you do for a living? Right? And so it's become this thing where our careers define us as to who we are. Because that's what has been the trend or the implant that has come through even when you're introduced to somebody. So, after I left my job, I went to go get a massage one day. And on the massage, on the application or whatever, the form you fill out, there was a gentleman, the massage therapist, who asked me what I do for a living, and it was, he's standing right there, I'm filling out my form, and it's asking me what my occupation is. And for the first time, I was actually feeling very comfortable about myself, who I am, and so I wrote down homemaker. Okay? And all of a sudden, I give him my form, and the first thing he says to me is, oh, what kind of homes do you make? And I don't know what happened, but I was so upset because I had finally thought that I had overcome and accepted my new career, who I was, what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life, and be proud of it, right? And then here comes somebody who made me feel like crap and really vulnerable, and you'll know when somebody makes you feel like that. So I'm just saying there are people that will make you feel less of yourself. But it's not you. And these are just triggers. Okay? So if you're feeling less of yourself, I want to hear from you. What is it? Why do you think that you feel less of yourself? Catherine says, I can take care of myself and others. Yeah, and that's how it should be. Taking care of ourselves and taking care of others, not others influencing us and our self-care. So for many of my clients, I know they're feeling that they're not worth anything or they have to continuously prove themselves. It's because they've been belittled so many times, or abandoned, maybe even bullied or abused, undermined as a child or even as a young adult or even as an adult, right? It happens in the workplace all the time. I just had a client this morning who has been bullied at work for 2 years. And just imagine how that feels. And how much you have to try to prove yourself that you're worth this position or you're worth working in this company. So there's just so much comparison going on right now in the world, and it's unfortunate. And even colleges are looking and comparing, and I can't imagine going through school right now and really being able to function. I'm not sure how these kids do it, but they are amazing. Catherine says, because of my illness, I constantly feel like I have to prove that I can take care of myself and others. Everyone is always trying to make me feel so fragile. And thank you for bringing that up, Catherine, because when you are ill, and I don't want to really say that word because we're not ill. There's just a process that we're going through in life that's showing up for us within our body. Okay? And yeah, people make you feel like you're very delicate and fragile. And it's because the way they are perceiving things, right? They don't understand what's really going on inside of you. You know, I was recently dealing with a lot of acne, a lot. I felt like I was, I don't know, 16 again. But it was clusters of acne. And, you know, people would look at me, or I felt people would look at me. Well, I know my family members did, because my aunts and uncles would say, "Oh my goodness, look at your face. What happened?" You know? And I'm like, I'm okay with it. It's a process I'm going through right now, and it's okay, right? So think about your processes and think about what is it that's keeping you stuck in your life right now. Okay, and if it's trying to prove yourself and accomplish as much as you can in this lifetime, then you're spending your time in an inefficient way. Okay, and I get it. As humans, we want to feel achieved. We want to feel good, right? That good feeling, that happy and joyful feeling. But we could get those same feelings without having to prove ourselves every minute of the day. Whether I'm cooking a meal and proving to my kids that mommy can cook a good meal. So it could be anything, but it doesn't have to be everything and every moment of your life that you're trying to prove yourself, okay? And I see people, you know, because what's going to happen is I see people that end up with low self-esteem, lack of confidence, lack of self-worth. They're depressed, anxious, frustrated, angry with life because they're trying to prove themselves all the time, everywhere they go. You know, people are everywhere you go, everywhere. I don't care if you're going to the mall, I don't care if you're going to a social gathering, but people look. People look at other people. And they judge other people, they criticize other people, they talk behind other people's backs, you know, and you know, because it's what they know and it's how they perceive things, because they see things through their eyes differently from their experiences in life. And how they've grown up, what culture they grew up in, what religion they grew up in, what environment they grew up in, all has an impact on how people perceive things and how they think. And we cannot change that. We cannot change. However, we can change how we perceive things and take things in and what really matters to us rather than others. It's time to take into our own hands what matters to us. So I want to know, how much time are you guys spending to prove yourself? You know, Catherine says, I hate being judged. When I'm having a really bad day, I have to use a handicap parking pass and park in those spots, and people looking judge you like you don't deserve to be, right? And so this is something that you're seeing through their eyes, Catherine. So, and you know, the mind is a beautiful thing, how it loves to, and I'm not saying you're assuming things, but to make stories in our mind, and it's always that negativity that comes through, like, oh, I'm parking here, maybe people are looking at me, wonder what they're thinking, okay, I don't deserve to be here, maybe I should move. I mean, you've created a whole 10-minute story, a saga, probably after that one experience, or multiple experiences, or every time you park in a handicapped parking spot. But I want you to just lift your head up high and just keep on walking. Okay, and see how that feels. Because you know what? Then that shows that, you know what? You do deserve to be there. Otherwise, you're showing people that, oh, you know what? You don't deserve to be there. And they actually say nasty things to your face. Yeah, you just walk right past it, Catherine. You know, there's nothing that you're going to be able to say or do at that moment to change their minds. You just keep on walking. Because you know what? That is what you needed. That is where you needed to be. And it's good. You do just walk past them. Wonderful. But it hurts you inside. Right? And your mind starts to start thinking all these different things and come up with all these different stories about who you are. So, you know, you cannot let other people tear you down. This is your home. Okay? And you have built it. It has taken you 40 something years for me. 43 years for me. So whatever years that it has taken you to build your home, your body is your home. Don't let other people break it down, because that can happen so easily, and it will manifest as symptoms in your body. It will show up. Okay? So don't let anybody tear down that sacred and divine self of you, your building. It's really, really important to remember that. So, you know, you're holding on to this deep sense of unworthiness. So everyone out there who is holding on to this energy, let's go ahead and clear that. Let's go ahead and do a nice little clearing for all of you. Anywhere in your body, in your energy field, everywhere that you're holding on to unworthiness, let's go ahead and clear that now. Okay, you may feel that energy if you're very sensitive. If you're not, that's okay. Just know this is a process. Okay, we're just clearing these energies wherever you're storing unworthiness. You may be storing it in your joints, in your tissues. You may be storing it in your knees, in your hips. Anywhere in your body. Catherine says, I feel happy bubbles coming up. And they are. They're coming up from within you. The ones that other people's thoughts have taken over. So let those bubbles come up for you. Let them pop all those energies that you're holding on to, all those judgments and criticisms, everywhere that people have undermined you. Beautiful. So, thank you. Now, we don't need other people to validate ourselves, okay? If it does come up for you, here's some things that you can do, okay? I want you to notice the feeling. I want you to notice what you're feeling and name it. You may be feeling anger. You may be feeling frustrated. You may be feeling like crap. But why? Okay, name that feeling. And allow yourself to sit and feel for just a moment. And I want you to say to yourself, I am feeling blank, whatever that is, and that's okay. I'm feeling angry, and that's okay. I'm feeling worthless, and that's okay. I'm feeling frustrated, and that's okay. Maybe it's guilt or shame, whatever it is. I want you to say, I am feeling this, and it's okay. And then notice how your body feels once you do that. Notice how it feels. Notice how it takes in the energies of this is okay to feel this way. You know, we've been taught so much that it's not okay to feel a certain way in certain situations and you need to hide it. But this is a way that I'm sharing with you that it's okay. Okay? So these are just very powerful and simple things that you can do to help you whenever you're feeling that you need to prove yourself and you need to justify who you are and your self-worth. It's not worth spending a lifetime on this, guys. I want you to take yourself and focus that energy within you, because that's what's more important. Nurture yourself. Nurture your body, nurture your organs and your systems and your glands, because they need you more than everyone else out there who's judging you. Okay, so if you're too busy spending time proving yourself, you need to relook and reorganize the process, and do it now before it's too late, before it becomes an ache, a pain, a dis-ease, an ailment within your body. Okay? So today's show is now coming to an end, and I want to say thank you for all of you who have showed up. I am so excited and happy that you're here, and join me next Tuesday again at 1 p.m. Do share this out and put it on your timeline. Let others know that they don't have to prove themselves to anyone also. And if you need anything and would like to connect with me, please do email me at deepalshah@anandaforlife.com or anandaforlife.com. Okay? Have a beautiful day. Namaste, everyone.